Hi, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for watching and for subscribing. And if you're just visiting, please consider subscribing. So today I have an unusual topic for you. And it's not that it's an unusual topic in general, but it's an unusual topic for me. And that is because we're going to talk about floral fragrances. I think you know by now that floral fragrances are not my favorite types of fragrances at all. But there are quite a few that are beautiful, and there are quite a few that I love, and there are quite a few that I can wear. So I want to talk about these types of fragrances today. But to make it a little bit more interesting, I am going to talk about different types of flowers and fragrances that correspond or that feature these flowers, because I thought, if I'm just gonna rely on picking my top fragrances, there's going to be a lot of repetition. There will be a number of fragrances featuring sweet orange blossom. There will be a lot of fragrances featuring peony, because these are my favorite floral notes, and I kind of wanted to have more variety in this video. That's why I've chosen different flowers and different fragrances for each one. So let's start with Mimosa. I personally love this note, but I don't think we see this note very often in fragrances these days, especially as like a leading note. But the fragrance that I have chosen features this note beautifully, and it is White Mimosa from Salvatore Ferragamo. I think this is their private line that like nobody talks about. So this fragrance, like I said, features the note of mimosa. There is also iris in here. There is mandarin. There is heliotrope. There are other white florals, vanilla, and musk. And although there is iris, I think mimosa really plays a leading role. Heliotrope also, just like iris, it's very much in the background. Like mimosa is really the star of this fragrance. It is lightly powdery, lightly sweet. It is almost like it's very smooth, like it's almost like it's a suede type of mimosa. Like it's almost a little bit fluffy, when I put it on my skin, like out of the bottle, I don't feel it. But when I put it on my skin, it almost gets a touch of leather or a touch of suede mixed together with this mimosa, which makes it so beautiful, so seductive. I think there is a bit of mystery in this fragrance, and I think it is quite seductive. It's really interesting, unusual. Mimosa, it's not your like super airy and happy and very light type of mimosa, which I think happens quite often. This one is a little bit darker and a little bit deeper and a little bit more mysterious. So I really love it. It's such a beautiful representation of this note. Again, this is White Mimosa from Salvatore Ferragamo. Next, let's talk about Peony. Well, of course, you knew this note was coming because this is one of my top notes. And here I've chosen one of many that I could have chosen, but for some reason decided to go with this one. And it is Peony Printemps from Maison Lancome. The note breakdown here is very simple. It's peony, rose, and pink pepper. I think that's all they have listed, these three notes, although I don't know, I think there's more than that to it, but let's go with what Fragrantica says. And I do get pink pepper in the opening, like it tickles my nose a bit, then it disappears pretty quickly. And although both peony and rose are listed, but definitely for me, the main player here is peony. Like rose is very much in the background, and this scent is about peony. It's light, it's airy, it's not the best performer. It is also not the worst, but you know, it's a so-so performer, let's call it. But it's a little bit musky, it's a little bit sweet, it's a little bit airy. It's a beautiful representation of this note. It's nothing, you know, extraordinary. It's nothing complicated, but at the same time, it is quite beautiful. So this is my choice that features the note of Peony. Next, let's go to Iris. And here I wanted to choose some fragrances that maybe not necessarily are new or new to me, but that I haven't talked about all that much, especially lately. So I decided to go with one of the most beautiful Iris scents in my opinion, and it is Ibitira from Xerjoff. I only have a sample for now, but I do have this fragrance on my wish list and I do want to purchase a full bottle. It's stunning. It's stunning. It's one of the most well put together, one of the most sophisticated Iris scents. Like, I can picture somebody walking the red carpet wearing this scent. Like, there is something a little bit regal about this type of Iris. So in addition to Iris, there are other florals in here. There is a violet, orange blossom, there is rose, there is lemon, musk, cedar, vanilla. Well, yeah, maybe other florals are here, but again, the star for me is Iris. It is fresh lemon. I can definitely feel a lemon in here because it does bring such a freshness and brightness to this fragrance. Overall, it's a pretty fresh Iris. It's just a touch powdery, just a touch sweet. Beautiful. Like I said, one of the most sophisticated and regal Iris scents in my opinion. I do want to get a full bottle, and hopefully eventually I will add it to my collection. Next flower that I want to talk about is Orange Blossom. And of course, I was very tempted to choose, you know, one of my top picks in that category that feature this really sweet orange blossom, like Sintra and, you know, a few others that I have. But I went in a different direction and I chose a very summery orange blossom, and that is Maravila from Bvlgari, that is housed in this really unique, slightly strange, slightly beautiful, and quite uncomfortable bottle. It's so top heavy that it tips over all the time. Anyways, let's talk about the juice. Here we have orange blossom, we have lemon, patchouli, jasmine, and peach. And it is a very fresh, lemony type of orange blossom that really doesn't have any sweetness. I can't say that I get jasmine in here, thank God. And peach, yeah, not so much either. Maybe just a little touch. However, patchouli I do get because it is a bit earthy and kind of, I don't know, natural feeling a little bit. But overall, very, very fresh, lemony orange blossom, you know, a little bit different from, you know, all the orange blossom scents that we have been seeing in the last couple of years, you know, the trendy ones, the ones that are like Killian Love and Memo Sintra and all of those that feature very sweet orange blossom. This is quite a departure from those scents, and so that's why I'm including it. And also, I think this is a great scent for the summer because of how light and how airy it is. Next flower that I've chosen is Almond Blossom. And the fragrance that represents it is, of course, My Insolence from Guerlain. This fragrance is completely different from the original Insolence, in my opinion. This is a totally kind of standalone fragrance, I think. Not quite sure why it was released as a flanker, but whatever. In addition to Almond Blossom, there is raspberry in here. There are some citruses. There is jasmine, vanilla, tonka bean, patchouli. Well, this is a bit difficult to describe because it's a scent where everything blends together and nothing really stands out. But I do get a bit of a sweet fruitiness from raspberry. Almond Blossom is a bit floral and a bit nutty, and it also has a bit of sourness, and it does have a bit of sweetness. Yeah, that's how I would describe it. So it's slightly nutty, slightly sweet, slightly sour, slightly floral, but everything is balanced out really, really nicely. I think it's really well put together scent where nothing really stands out. And Almond Blossom is quite evident here. That's why I've chosen this one. Okay, next let's talk about the queen of white florals. Tuberose, of course, and I do have a fragrance featuring this note that I absolutely love. It is Mercurial Cashmere from Electimuss. What a stunner of a fragrance. I'm shocked how much I love it and how prominent the tuberose is in this fragrance, and yet I still love it. I mean, it's kind of a little bit crazy to me. But the tuberose in here is so pretty. It is a little bit sweet. It's a little bit fluffy. It's very kind tuberose, you know, it's not angry in any way. And then there are a lot of sweet notes in here. So there is a vanilla, tonka bean, caramel, and I think it's because they mix so beautifully with this tuberose that makes me love this fragrance. Although I will say that sweet notes are not too overpowering either. Like, they add some sweetness, they kind of mellow down the tuberose, but they don't stand out all that much as well. Like, I wouldn't call this scent extremely sweet. It is not at all, but it's just it's fluffy. This scent is very fluffy and very beautiful and very, I want to say very feminine, but then I hesitate saying it because in my mind it is feminine. But on the other hand, my husband likes this scent as well, like to wear. So I'm not going to say too feminine because maybe it is not, but I don't know. In my opinion, it is. So it's a great, great scent. Such a beautiful, gentle, fluffy tuberose in here. Gorgeous. Next, let's talk about Frangipani, which is one of my favorite tropical notes. And the fragrance that I've chosen here is Flores Negras from Fueguia. When I did a full dedicated video on this house, this was one of the fragrances that I talked about. So obviously here I just have a sample, but it was one of my biggest surprises from this house because when I ordered the sample, I really didn't think I was gonna love it. I didn't think I was even gonna like it, honestly. I just ordered it because I heard about the scent and I was curious about it, but I fully expected to hate it. And turns out I love it. This was one of my favorites. This is a scent that I have on my wish list that I will definitely add to my collection, hopefully sometime this year. And the star of this fragrance is Frangipani. There's also dates in here, and then there are these oily notes, which at first when I read them, I thought, what is oily notes? What is that? But I kind of get it with this fragrance because it really does have this oily quality to it. It's like they almost added a little bit of, I don't know, butter or olive oil or something to this fragrance to really make it like really oily. I mean, it might sound completely strange and maybe even a little bit disgusting, but really it is not. It just adds this oiliness to it, which is so interesting. And then it is actually quite fruity, this scent. I can't say that it's specifically dates that I'm smelling. It's just some kind of fruitiness with just a little bit of this tropical vibe coming from Frangipani. So unusual. The scent is quite unusual. Yeah, this is not your run-of-the-mill floral scent. This is not your run-of-the-mill Frangipani. This is unique. This is 100% unique. Do not blind buy. Yeah, do not. You have to sample this one. I think there will be a lot of people that will absolutely hate it. For me, it turned into a love. And so, like I said, hopefully It's coming to my collection sometime soon. Next note that I included is the note of rose, which originally I thought, no, I'm not going to include because I just did a full dedicated video about my entire rose collection. And then I remembered that I had one more gem that wasn't included in that video. Why? Because it's a travel spray, and I am terrible at using travel sprays. I always forget about them, always, and they just stand and collect dust. And so when I remembered about this beauty, I pulled it out, I tried it, and I was amazed. Why did I forget about it? Like, why? Once upon a time, this used to be one of my top rose scents. I loved it. I've gone through, I think, several bottles of this once upon a time, and then it kind of got lost in the shuffle. Anyways, what am I talking about? Maybe some of you recognize this. This is Stella from Stella McCartney, and this is the EDT version. This is so lovely. Oh my God, it is such a lovely rose. It is, it's a slightly cold rose to me, and it's a little bit sweet and a little bit fruity. So some of the notes in here are iced lemon. So I don't know exactly what they mean by iced lemon, but maybe that's where kind of a little bit of coldness is coming from. There is mandarin orange, freesia, peony, violet leaf, and amber. So I am not even sure where the slight fruitiness is coming from either. But I do get a bit of sweet fruitiness in it as well, together with that kind of cold vibe and a gorgeous, gorgeous rose. Beautiful. This is one of the most beautiful rose scents, you know, kind of a bit of a classic, I think, at this point. Isn't this discontinued? I'm not sure, but I have a feeling this is discontinued by now. But oh my God, this is so beautiful. How did I forget about it? I'm definitely pulling out this travel spray, and I'm going to be using it soon. And the last one that I'm going to include here is just a bouquet of white flowers. You know, I'm not friends with white flowers, especially when there are a lot of them. And it's a very, very rare occasion when I like a scent that has a lot of white florals. Well, this is such an example. This is Pompei Garden from Giardino Benessere. Not very well-known house, not very talked about, but actually this house belongs to Tiziana Terenzi. So there are three houses that they have. The main one, Tiziana Terenzi, Quinto Canto, and then Giardino Benessere. I believe it belongs to the same brand, the same house, okay? So basically owned and created by Terenzi family. So this one is just a bouquet of white florals. I'm going to read you the notes so you can see just how many florals are included in here. There is gardenia, tuberose, there is pineapple, magnolia, bergamot, grapefruit leaf, apple, green pepper, freesia, jasmine, plum, cumin, cardamom, tonka bean, musk, cedar, oak moss, and amber. So in general, a ton of notes, and so many of them are floral notes, and more specifically white florals. But I think this works because there are also a lot of fruity, citrusy notes added in. And they make the scent more fresh. They make it a little bit more fruity. They definitely tone down all the heavy florals. And although I do get the florals, I mean, there is no denying this is a floral scent, but it becomes quite a bit more light and a lot more airy and not so headache inducing. So I think it's the addition of all the citruses and fruits that kind of save this scent for me and make it wearable. So again, this is Pompei Garden from Giardino Benessere. So there you go. This was my selection of floral fragrances for the summer. I know that many of you really enjoy floral scents. Let me know, what are your favorites? Do you have any suggestions of new floral scents that I should sample? Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please remember to give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you soon in the next one. Bye.